something a little bit different today. This is a song from Spain, Spanish song, Spain proper. I don't really know the artist other than I believe it's Mecano, and it's called Hijo de la Luna. Hijo de la Luna. So that means something about the moon, right? Son of the moon, something about the moon. So my Espanol is not so great, but poquito. I can speak a little bit, or understand a little bit too from growing up around folks that spoke some Spanish. So let me see if I can interpret a little bit. I'm not going to use subtitles. Also, I don't think this song actually has subtitles, but first time hearing it, looks like the song's a little bit older than what I usually cover. But hey, we do all kinds of cool things on the Analog Man podcast, and we go around the world. So this time we're going to go to Spain. And please do me a favor, hit the like button before we start. Let's go.
Tonto el que no entienda, cuenta una leyenda, que una hembra gitana conjuró a la luna hasta el amanecer. Llorando pedía al llegar el día de esposar un calé.
First of all, smoking hot, but besides that, it's something about the moon here. She's singing to the moon as if it's a person. Not sure what the subject is yet, but maybe I'll figure it out.
Abraza tu hombre, piel morena, desde el cielo habló la luna llena, pero a cambio quiero el hijo primero que le engendres a él, que quien su hijo inmola para no estar sola, poco le iba a querer. Luna quiere ser madre y no encuentras querer que te haga mujer. Dime, luna de plata, ¿qué pretendes hacer con un niño de piel?
First, just kind of, maybe because just her hair is cut short, but with the black background and stuff, that kind of reminds me of Sinead O'Connor, how she had that one video, Nothing Compares to You, which is one of my favorite songs of all time. But this, so far, the song seems to be almost like a folk song or folklore song, where she's singing about the son of the moon, and then something, I think she's a gypsy, and then she wants to marry a guy, but I don't think the guy is the right person or something like to that extent. For my Spanish speakers, Espanol, please help me out with that in the comment section.
De padre canela nació un niño, blanco como el lomo de un armiño, con los ojos grises en vez de aceituna, niño albino de luna. Maldita su estampa, este hijo es de un payo, y yo no me lo callo. Luna quiere ser madre y no encuentras querer que te haga mujer. Dime, luna de plata, ¿qué pretendes hacer con un niño de piel? Hijo de la luna.
So the song has never really made it to the United States, and again, my Spanish is not great, but there's something being said about how the person looks. I don't know if it's the child or the husband. There's something being said about their physical features, how they look. I'm not quite sure exactly what that pertains to, if it's like one of those like mystical things where you're putting features like on the moon and you're calling it her or him, or sometimes the old folklore was like that, where they gave human characteristics to inanimate objects, and if that had like a deeper meaning, a lot of times that stuff is actually connected to seasonal farming and harvesting, almost like what is the book? We used to have an almanac in the United States, but it was like more mystical back then. Not quite sure, but I'm just throwing stuff out there. I'm guessing, really.
Gitano al creerse deshonrado, se fue a su mujer, cuchillo en mano. ¿De quién es el hijo? Me hace engaño fijo y de muerte la hirió. Luego se hizo al monte con el niño en brazos y allí le abandonó. Luna quiere ser madre y no encuentras querer que te haga mujer. Dime, luna de plata, ¿qué pretendes hacer con un niño de piel? Hijo de la luna. Y las noches que haya luna llena será porque el niño esté de buenas. Y si el niño llora, me guarda la luna para hacerle una cuna. Y si el niño llora, me guarda la luna para hacerle una cuna.
I've never heard that before in my life. And it seems like it's an older song. You know, a lot of times this music from different countries outside the United States doesn't quite make it into the U.S. This is a beautiful song. Don't know all of the lyrics. I wish I had the subtitles. I'll have to go find a version where there is a subtitle. But before we get into this, please do me a favor, hit the subscribe button. I really appreciate that. I love doing these global reactions, especially when I get to learn about other cultures. I see that this is in Spanish in Spain, but it's also talking about gypsies. So maybe this is a little bit different of like a subculture within Spain. I don't really know the dynamics of that. I hear about it. I hear about gypsies. I mean, I know the travelers in Ireland, but that's a kind of different scenario because most of those folks are what we would consider indigenous Irish as well. Actually, even Tyson Fury, the O'Furies, are one of those groups. In fact, he's actually related to one of the most famous bare knuckle fighters of all time. But, you know, I'm just saying there's depths in culture, and it seems like this song is a little bit about someone making a deal for love, but they're giving up their child. They're sacrificing their child for the love. In this case, it's the moon, and the moon takes the child or something. But maybe it has something to do with kind of like a family setting where a person is making a choice or a consequence that's going to, you know, affect the child or something. So I'd really have to know the lyrics. I'm just kind of spitballing here, but I thought it was beautiful. It's a beautiful song. If you know what this is really about, please type in the comment section. Even in Spanish, I'll translate it and try to figure this out. And if you know if there's a version of this with subtitles, can you please just put the title? You don't have to put the link. Just put the title that you can find that on YouTube, and I'll search it up and check it out. But yeah, just a beautiful song. She has a beautiful voice. I don't know much about the artist. Maybe she has more music I should check out. But again, I like this cultural aspect. I like learning things, especially this mystical stuff. In fact, you know, do I need to go straight into my bookshelf here? But like, I have a background in anthropology and other things. And this is one of my favorite books right here, Stones of Time by Martin Brennan, and it's about Ireland. And it's about Newgrange and Knowth and all the ancient megalithic sculptures that are still around, or the, you know, megalithic tombs. And there's a lot more to it than people realize. And sometimes there's stories just like this that explain different episodes or epics that happen in Ireland, and they do it in a way of like mystical folklore. And one of them is there was a famous story about the sun or the moon consuming the sun, which was considered taboo because it was like relative. So it was suggesting something, and that thing that it was suggesting, later on they found when they actually excavated one of the tombs they found from genetic discovery, just like in Egypt, that there were some close relations. And so the story actually matches up with something that could have happened. And then the offspring of those people were considered something different than just your average person or average human at that time. So very interesting. Maybe there's a backstory to this. I'd like to know if there's some anthropology or archaeology or something, a backstory to this. Please let me know in the comment section, because I love that kind of stuff, big time, big time. And I love doing the reactions. I love doing the culture. I have a little group. If you guys want to reach out to me, and I'll send you my link to my Discord. And we chat in there about content creation and growth. And if you're interested in doing stuff like that or being on YouTube, let me know. It's free. That's just a place where folks share information so you don't have to relearn things. And yeah, thank you for coming to the Analog Man podcast. I appreciate everybody when you guys come. Please hit the subscribe on the way out. And hey, if you get a chance, read this book, Stones of Time. There's a lot of really, really cool things in there, things that people don't really realize about Ireland. I think a lot of Irish history is actually, focused on Catholicism or the era of Catholicism and people, or even the Celtic period. But there was actually a civilization there well before that. And Ireland's been inhabited, I think, close to, well, at least 12,000 years. Some people say much, 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 much longer than that. And they have good reason to. I found something in a museum, and I talked to a guy that showed me something that would probably change your mind about that. But that's a story for another day. I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm the Wolfhound. This is the Analog Man podcast. And yeah, come back and see me.